Good evening, everybody. We're going to do a different kind of video today. I guess you would call it like a bonus reading. I'm not sure. So we've been learning about the Decans in astrology and tarot, and we're doing a Decan walk with my community. So we are now currently, for the next couple of days anyway, in this Two of Wands Decan, which is the first Decan of Aries. I don't remember if it's the exact astrology. I don't remember the exact planets, but that's okay. So we're all going to learn together here. But I am actually just going to do a reading on the energy of the Decan, and I guess it'll be more like I don't know what's happened, what's happening, what's about to happen. So we're coming in the next few days into the Three of Wands energy, but the Two of Wands is about the planning, right? It's about the getting rid of what you don't need, and but it's fire energy, right? So it's very what is the word I want to say? Maybe burning, right? So think about what fire does when it burns. It I'm just thinking like wildfires in California, and literally like you can see the fire in the volcano that's about to erupt. Like, is it going to erupt or is it not going to erupt? If we look at the keywords for this card, it's more like the planning, choosing direction. So if you look really closely, you can see that the wand on this side looks like it's not on the ledge, right? It's behind the ledge in the water, and his hand is not touching it. But on this side, it looks like it's on the ledge, right? So there's a holding back and a, am I going to push forward? So I think the Two of Wands is more about the decisions, right? On the fire energy. So think about fire energy, what that is. That's creative, right? That's sparks. That's it. You have to burn things down to build things back up. So we're not really sure on this card if the fires, if the volcano is going to erupt or not. And I can't really tell if the merman is waiting to see if it's going to erupt, or deciding if he wants to go up and make it erupt, or what. But the hand is definitely on the wand on the right side. So that would be like more action oriented, right? The left receiving side is sitting back. His hand is down, not on in the upright as if it were receiving. And the left side is behind the wall, right? So this is all about the action. This is really action oriented. And I feel like it's less about planning and more about doing, but making the decision to do the thing, right? So you have to make the decision to do the thing before you do the thing. So we're going to pull some cards and see what the Two of Wands is trying to tell us with this current deck. And what is this Two of Wands trying to tell us? What is the Two of Wands trying to tell us? It is trying to tell us that we have the Ace of Swords on its side. I'm actually going to pull a few cards before I try to stitch this all together, but the Ace of Swords would be about the new way of thinking, a new thought, a new perspective maybe, or a new and the Sun. So we've got let's see how I want to arrange these here, because I'm set up for this might hurt readings, but so we've got the Sun and one more card. Tell us about oh, okay, two. Fine, be that way. We got the Page of Swords in reverse, and we have the Seven of Wands on its side. So when we're looking at this Two of Wands energy, this planning energy, this deciding, what are we going to decide to do? So are we deciding to go? Are we deciding to stay? Are we burning things down? Are we building them up? Well, what are we doing? We've got this new thought. So we have to think about things in a new way. The universe is asking you to think about this decision that you're making. And it's kind of been the theme of the week, I think. And really, I should pull out the Two of Wands from my normal this might hurt deck because I really like the way that they show this Two of Wands. It's very different from other decks. It's, I know I keep saying I'm sorry. I do that when I'm like thinking, right? I'm gonna say instead of like it makes a big difference, Sanora. I mean, seriously. I'm stalling because I'm literally shuffling through trying to find this Two of Wands because I really want to talk about how it looks in this deck. So this deck I've been using every day for a few months now, so I feel like I'm a little more connected to this one than my mermaids, which I use all the time. And of course, 3 cards to go, and there it is, right? I was going to say it's always the last card that you look at, but of course it is because you wouldn't keep looking, right? But in this Two of Wands, what I like about this one is she's holding a map, right? So normally in the traditional Rider-Waite, he would be holding a globe in his hands, and the globe would be in his right hand, and the Rider-Waite would look a little more like this one. But in this one, she's actually sitting on a car, which I think is interesting. And this always reminds me of my hometown ish. I lived in Laughlin for several years, and this looks like a spot on the beach on the Bullhead City side that I used to sit at all the time. So I think that's why I'm so drawn to it. But this small sapling of a tree on this side that's just getting started, but the right side, the action side, right, the one that's sitting on top of the wall here, is actually strong and has a little more it's a little more age to it, I guess, if you will, and it's to the right side of the car. She's sitting on the car looking at the map. Instead of having the whole world in her hands, she's looking at the map. And I feel like in this one it's always kind of told me that, are we going to do things the way we've always done, or are we going to do them different, right? She's reached the end of the line with this road that she's on, and now she's got to decide to turn completely, like completely change directions, or is she going to go across the river? And she doesn't look too stressed about it. Like here, it looks like there's some urgency to the decision, right? Here it's like, well, you know what, we're just going to sit. It reminds me of COVID, to be honest with you. This was kind of the beach that I sat at every night for a year during COVID. And maybe that's why it feels so peaceful to me in this card. And this card feels very intense. The energy of this card feels very intense to me, as opposed to this one where it feels very tame. But I did choose to use the mermaids, so we're going to go with the intense energy. And the is he going to decide to go, maybe it's, you know what I'm getting now with the waves, is he going to go with the flow, or is he going to finally stand up and buck the system, if you will? We were listening to something that Carrie was talking about, and I apologize, I don't remember the name of the thing that she was reading, but it had to do with the first Decan of Aries, and it was calling the first Decan of Aries, which is like 0 degree Aries, the battle axe, right? So it's when things get severed or destroyed or individuated, as the case may be. And, with him not being swept up in the waves, it's that waves of emotion. Is it waves of the way things have always been done, right? Because if you think about the ocean, there's a pattern to it, right? That it coincides with the moon. But he's just holding on and deciding. He doesn't look like he's holding on for dear life. He looks like he's standing strong because, his arms aren't flexing in those muscles. He's just standing there like, go ahead, do your thing. I'm going to be over here watching this volcano, deciding what I want to do. But this water, this waves down here, not really going to affect me at this point. Not letting it affect me at this point. And then that's that thinking about things in a new way. Am I thinking about them? And it's kind of like this, right? Am I going to do things the way they've always been done? Am I going to think about it the way I've always thought about it? Or am I going to think about it in a new way? What is the decision here? Am I going to have truth and clarity, or am I going to have confusion and denial? Not really sure. He looks very, very truth and clarity to me there. But, right? If another wave comes at the same time and sweeps him over, there could be some denial, right? There could be some confusion. He could get tossed in the waves. He could get to where he's discombobulated, right? He doesn't know up from down. Think about when you've gotten, I don't know if you've ever been to the ocean, but you know, if you turn your back on the ocean and the wave swallows you, then it takes a minute to orient yourself to figure out which way is up, right? And so the sword, you know, which way is up? We're not really sure because there's no direction to it right now. It's just kind of still deciding. And maybe that's where the happiness lies, because we're thinking about doing things a completely different way and not going with the flow and trying to decide, you know, we're not even sure if it's clarity or if it's distortion, but either way, it's something new, right? It's, look at the look of wonder on their faces, just the way that they're actually like so mesmerized by the fact that the sun is shining through the water, as if they have never seen it before. Even the fish, they're all swimming in the different directions, right? And they're trying to catch the rays of light, right? And light is something inherently, like, you can't really grab it, right? But they look like they're trying to, as if they didn't know what this light was, right? And the sun, of course, is the happiest card in the deck. That's just the joy and wonder and creation of seeing something new, to the Page of Swords in the reverse. So pages are more like taking all of that knowledge from the Ace through the 10, right? You have this brand new way of thinking, right? And then you take it through the 2 through the 10. So it's the deciding, and then the things, and all the way up to the 10. And then you take all of that knowledge and you start to put it into practice, right? You're like, oh, wow, look at this new thing I have. Let me go out and try it. But you're not really wanting to try it yet. You're like, do I want to try this? Do I not want to try this? I'm not really sure. Like, the sword is pointing up, which tells me that it's more about thoughts than it is words. And I don't always read it that way, but for today, I feel like the sword pointing down is more words, and the sword pointing up is more thoughts, right? It's very airy energy. So are we stuck in our thoughts, right? Are we stuck in our thoughts with how this is all working out? Maybe it's that time of introspection, right? Like I said, it's the 27th, so we've only got 3 more days left in the Decan. What's happened has happened, for the most part, at least in my life. So really thinking about it, like, is this new thing, I know it will bring me happiness. There's not a doubt in my mind that this is where I'm supposed to be. But I'm having a hard time putting it together as this is, how do I want to say this? Like, I'm not even sure, right? I'm not even really sure what I learned. I did stand up for myself in a way that I hadn't in the past. And I'm just going to start to apply it to my situation, because I'm trying to stitch a story together here, right? And trying to think about things in a new way. I used some new words that I didn't normally use, right? And I felt good. I felt really, really good Tuesday, and I still feel good. But like, there was that initial burst of joy, right? That's like overwhelming. And now I'm kind of like, well, you know, should I really be happy about that? I'm not really sure. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm not quite there yet. And feeling a little defensive, right? Feeling a little vulnerable. And the vulnerability is actually where the power lies, but it still doesn't make it feel any better, right? It's still a scary feeling. It can be scary and exciting, because literally fear and excitement will create the same response in your nervous system. So your woolly mammoth, if you will, for the most part, can't tell the difference. It's your prefrontal cortex that's giving it the meaning at that point. So if you are afraid, then you can literally tell yourself that you're excited, and the woolly mammoth will believe you, and then it will move in the direction of excitement, right? So we're not even sure what to call it at this point. It's I feel, looking at the way the cards are here, as if the second wave did come. There's a little disorientation that's coming with it. But at the same time, you know, once you realize up from down, you know, north from south, top from bottom, when you're caught up in those waves, then you know which way to push up to gain that breath of air, to find the sovereignty or the safety that you're looking for. And I think what this sun, because the sun in here is just it's shining too bright for me to feel like this is complete disorientation or complete vulnerability or complete fear or complete overthinking of it all. Because even in this swarm of 3D overthinking, not really sure, going to do things a different way, at your core, you know it's going to bring you happiness. So can you get to the happiness part while all of this is happening, right? I'm not really sure. Tell me more about this sun. Tell me more about how can we get there. You can't get there from here. I don't know why I was thinking that, but you know, what about this sun? Like what happiness will come as a result? So when you stay in places that you have outgrown, it starts to feel stagnant, right? And when you get to that new place, that's that new exciting opportunities, right? That I call it shiny new car syndrome. Did that card turn? It did not. So with the shiny new car syndrome, we get the Lovers, looking at yourself in a whole new way, right? Seeing this mermaid, and I always see her as Ariel, the mermaid in this deck, but she's a mermaid, but she sees herself living in a different world in the mirror, right? She's human. There's a castle behind her. She's not in the water anymore. And it's that appreciating your future self, acting as if, right? That would be with our sun card. And even the color, right? Even the color schemes are kind of blending here. But that complete and total self-love and a self-appreciation for who you are becoming and not really looking back at who you were. And knowing it's coming, right? There's a knowingness here because I feel like this is futuristic, if you will, but because we can believe that it's happening, we can put ourselves into that feeling now and really just take hold of that emotion, which is going to allow us to manifest things much, much faster, right? Tell me about this Page of... I'm actually going to look at Page of Swords in the reverse. A lack of follow through. Okay, so this might mean that instead of moving forward with the learning and the ambition, that you're all talk and no walk, if you will. So and that might be because of the disorientation, because of this new way of thinking and the way you're speaking to yourself. You're a little disoriented. You're not really sure how to move forward with that, right? So you feel a little stuck, and then it's that vulnerability. But tell me more about this feeling stuck here. The Hermit in the reverse. So I love the Lantern. The Lantern's been a thing for me lately, but the Hermit is about going within. That's the introspection, right? That's knowing that you carry that star in the Lantern, which is guiding your way, if you will. And the finding your true north. Have you guys ever heard that statement? But this would be him following his true north, right? There's nothing but to that eye on the prize. But for some reason, it's in the reverse. When it comes to the Page of Swords and kind of questioning yourself, right? Now, is this really what I want? Have I really come through with, is this really the star, right? I'm not really sure. Is this being forced upon me? Is this being something that I want? Is it something that I wanted that I didn't know I want? Is it feeling uncomfortable because the universe is giving you exactly what you want in your soul? Your woolly mammoth is aware of this, but maybe you're right around top, the prefrontal cortex, your logic mind isn't making sense of it yet, right? Because we're not really sure if we're being defensive and scared or vulnerable, or if we're being excited about the new things to come. We're just not really sure, right? So let's look at the Seven of Wands. Let's look at the vulnerability and the defensive posturing. Eight of Pentacles. So I like this because this to me speaks of community and teamwork and collaboration and everybody coming together to do what they have to do. And they bring their talents, right? So it's not about so much who's going to work more or less. Is it going to be even? It's everybody brings their talents to the table. And when everybody works in a collaborative team like that, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. And maybe that is the fear. Maybe that is the vulnerability because this hasn't come in yet. You know, animals in the animal kingdom or whatever, there's always, you know, there's a circle of life that happens. So the older generations die out and the newer generations are taught, and they're new at it, right? So they don't have the mastery that an elder in the community would have. But this speaks to me of all kinds, right? We've got, this looks to me like it would be the brand new, and this looks to me like it would be the elder. So, you know, the elders teaching the, I don't want to say children, but the younger generation, if you will, how to master their craft. and then how to contribute to the community, right? And that's coming. And maybe the fear is that you won't find another one. Maybe the defensive, vulnerable part is because right now you're kind of standing alone in this Two of Wands energy, right? The Two of Wands inherently meaning the choice, and the choice meaning to leave the old and embrace the new, or what is the new even looking like? So, yeah, pretty interesting. Our overarching energy underneath is the Seven of Pentacles. You have prepared for this. We have prepared for this. This is something that we have expected, and maybe we didn't expect it quite so abruptly. Maybe we didn't expect to have to make the choice this soon. Maybe we had thought it was going to come in a different way than it did, but we did know it was coming, and it's a version of seeing yourself into the future, in the future, not seeing yourself into, but seeing yourself in the future, and how that looks on you, right? Like trying on your new skin. And then, yeah, there's some confusion. Yeah, we're not really sure. Even the Hermit, I'll look the Hermit in reverse up on the keywords just to see, but number 9, isolation, avoidance, and disconnection. So yeah, when these things start to happen, and things are happening in a different way, and all these new things are coming in, then the safe thing is to isolate, right? So I was talking to a client today who was telling me that she isolates a lot when she gets nervous, and I said, well, yeah, because our trauma, our body remembers the score, right? So if you were abused, physically abused as a child by a certain person, certain gender or whatever, your woolly mammoth might be afraid to be alone in a room with a person that certain gender, right? The group, being part of the group, might feel, sorry about that, part of the group and bringing your mastery to the table might feel more safe. And maybe there is a power in numbers. Maybe there's safety in numbers that we're thinking about, because this standing alone thing is a little out of our comfort zone, but it's what's going to make us happy. It's that's the future version of us. That is the happiness, right? Drawing that energy down, that futuristic energy down, to be able to look at it, look at yourself in your future skin, and appreciate it, and appreciate that you're going through this preparation phase here, but you know what's coming. You know what's coming, and you know what's coming. So all of this, while it's uncomfortable, we can hold that discomfort and the anticipation and the excitement all at the same time. And then in a few days, we'll get to the Three of Wands, and we'll talk more about the Three of Wands in a few days. So I hope this didn't confuse you thoroughly. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight into what might be going on astrologically, a little more insight than our normal 10-minute talks that we have. I wanted to make sure I gave it its time, and I wanted to use the mermaid cards. I haven't used them in a while. It's the first deck I ever used, ever. And I was putting some things away today in my space, because things are a little disorganized in here right now, and not really, I think I left something somewhere and I didn't, or those kind of things. So just really wanted to, I don't know, do something that was beneficial to me, I guess, or grounding. This is something that grounds me, something that's part of my spiritual practice, and kind of a little bonus, right? Just to kind of get my bearings, if you will, right? Because maybe I feel a little bit like that next wave kind of knocked me over a little bit, and it's time to stand up again. All right, guys, I am going to go ahead and close this reading. I hope that my babbling, my I don't know, attempt to make sense of what this current energy is made some sense to you and helped you feel a little less alone in it, and gave you some hope that the preparation phase and the sun and the lovers and all of that good stuff is coming soon. All right, guys, we'll chat soon. Take care.